In tonight with a local connection we uncovered for controversial U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore.
Several women are accusing Moore of sexual assault when they were teenagers, and there are Democrats and Republicans calling for Moore to drop out of the race.
We found out in the early 1980s, Moore actually lived in Galveston for a short time, where he came to learn kickboxing. We actually tracked down the man who used to train him, and he tells us he's standing by Roy Moore. Jason Miles is live in Galveston tonight with the interview. Jason?
Hey there, guys. You know, I first covered Roy Moore when I worked and lived in Alabama some 15 years ago when he was removed from the state Supreme Court bench the first time. I never thought I'd cover him again here in Texas, and certainly not at a kickboxing studio in Galveston. 10th degree black belt Ishmael Robles
kick like that,
showed us some moves on a dummy named Bob.
Or you can here.
He hates seeing his friend, former Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore,
I'm now facing allegations.
Taking jabs during a special election for U.S. Senate.
It bothers me. It bothers me tremendously.
Robles has known Moore for nearly 35 years when the man who later became known as the Ten Commandments judge sought out one of the nation's best kickboxers.
It's like some people want to run one marathon, they never do it again. He wanted to do one kickboxing match.
Moore lived on the island for about 9 months in 1983, worked in construction during Hurricane Alicia cleanup, and worked out with Robles.
If I was knocking him down, he'd keep getting back up.
Kind of politically, he's done that too.
Pretty much.
At least 5 women have now accused Moore of molesting them when they were teenagers, and Moore was an assistant DA in his early 30s. All of that allegedly happening in a time period just before Moore ended up on Galveston Island.
I never saw anything. I never suspected anything.
Robles doesn't necessarily agree with all of Moore's political positions. What is your hope for him right now?
My hope for him that all of this blows over, that people see what kind of man he really is.
But says he was always a gentleman inside and outside the gym. And Moore writes about his time here in Galveston in his autobiography. Meantime, Robles says he looks forward to attending Moore's swearing in as U.S. Senator, if and when that happens. Back to you.
Jason, it's really interesting to find out that Roy Moore was here training for kickboxing. Does the instructor recall Moore ever having a relationship in Galveston with young women?
We talked about that a little bit. Robles and Moore would go out to different places here on the island, would go to church together, spend a lot of time here at the gym. He said young women would be around at times, but they were more likely to approach Moore than vice versa. But keep in mind, this was a long time ago.
It sure was. Our Jason Miles in Galveston tonight. Thanks so much.
Police